Alright, I caved. I know what I said in my Studio Series Optimus review, but I caved. I got it. That being said, welcome to Kit Katastrophe. My name is Kit, and today we'll be taking a look at Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Voyager class Optimus Prime. This figure came out in 2018 as part of Wave 1 of the Voyager assortment. Returning to his roots, Optimus Prime turns into his classic cab-over-engine semi-truck vehicle mode with a new Cybertronian twist. It takes far fewer liberties than the original War for Cybertron Optimus Prime did in his alternate mode, but that's okay. The copious translucent sky blue plastic, dare I say allspark blue, at the front windows, grille, and headlights helps sell the Cybertronian nature, while the hind wheels are armored up akin to a tank, making it damn certain that he's no ordinary big rig. The two big eyebrow lights up top were the single biggest thing that turned me off from this figure, and while they still bother me sometimes, I've learned to look past them. The front windows are actually able to open, revealing a sculpted matrix of leadership. Sadly, it is only sculpted. One of Siege's biggest conceits is 5mm weapon port crossplay, and Optimus Prime is covered in them like buboes. Frankly, I just prefer to store his two weapons on the weapon port on the rear, which is situated far enough forward that I don't think it's a feasible spot to place a third-party trailer. As for issues in this mode, one of the front wheels doesn't quite want to settle securely on its locking tab, but that's okay. Simply flip down all 6 of his wheels and you got yourself a flight mode akin to the hover modes of the War for Cybertron games. It's pretty nifty, even if it is an afterthought. There's even space for a flight stand in case you're one of the 3 weirdos who wants to display him in this mode. Optimus Prime's transformation is certainly a bit messy and panel heavy, especially in the arms and backpack. You kinda have to half-transform everything so you can half-transform everything else, if that makes any sense. It feels a little cheap that about half of the outside of the truck cab is just shell that folds away into a backpack, no matter how tidily the process is done. From there, some serious kibble flappage is dispatched to the forearms, though I guess it's something of a Chug Prime tradition, isn't it? My biggest disappointment is that you have to perform the head reveal halfway through, cutting away any degree of dynamicism. The front wheels sucking into the torso is a nice touch, admittedly. The legs, however, bring things back a bit to a nice degree of simplicity. They're very straightforward compared to the rest of the scheme, featuring some clever swivels and panel management. He could have easily just had a waist rotation as part of the process, but instead, Optimus decides he's just going to worry about his shins spinning around, which is pretty neat. Holy masterpiece, Batman! This robot mode captures the look of the original Generation 1 Optimus Prime design to a T. The proportions are absolutely spot on. He's tall and lanky in some areas, yet still gives the impression of great strength and courage, something I love about most Optimus designs. Like I said, the backpack is handled fairly neatly and can double as a sort of jetpack if you're creative enough. Guess he doesn't need to borrow sideswipes after all. The arm kibble is a little egregious, but it's easily leagues better than the original Classics Optimus. And wow, that head sculpt is beautiful, isn't it? Easily the single best Optimus head sculpt I've seen on a G1 styled Prime, having all the right shapes and angles and that very specifically pointed faceplate. I think it would have been cool if he sported the more trucker cap-esque head design from the pilot, but this is still astounding. One stylistic decision that Siege has chosen that is far more apparent in this mode is the weathering effects. These were really unpopular when the figures were first revealed, but I haven't heard too many people complain about them lately. In all honesty, most of the time I forget they're even there. The big issue I have with this robot mode is that one of the panels on Optimus's calves doesn't like to seat itself within its locking slot at all, causing the inner leg panel to eject sometimes. It's not as annoying as Bumblebee Prime's leg problems, but still it's annoying. Your mileage may vary, though. As a special action feature due to transformation, Optimus Prime can open his chest windows to reveal his Matrix chamber. Sorta. He doesn't come with any Matrix accessory, but I hear that it is spacious enough to fit a Matrix core from a Power the Prime's leader figure, or a similarly sized Prime or Titan Master figure. As for accessories, Prime comes with 2. The first is the WM3RF Ion Blaster, an astonishingly faithful recreation of Prime's iconic weapon of choice. It features a 5mm port on top, and the barrel itself is 5mm compatible. The second weapon is the W50 Dual Mech Energon Strike Shield, a silver and black axe that vaguely alludes to that axe that Optimus yoed out of his hand in that one episode of the cartoon, albeit this is a handheld variety. It can shrink down into a more compact shield form by swiveling the axe blades in and folding over the handle, and can store on any of Prime's 5mm ports. Apparently, the two weapons can combine to form the Sentry Strike Ultra Blaster, a form which I just call weapon storage.
I'm gonna say it up front, Siege Optimus is very posable. For starters, he has a ball joint at the head with a very nice range, up and down. Well, not so much up, but he can look down as if he's disappointed in you. As he should be. He can also swivel all the way around, and he can do a little waggle, but you're not going to get much use out of that. His arms of a swivel that goes all the way around, and they go outward. He can T-pose on his enemies, or on you for being such a disappointment. Also, these shoulder flaps go in and out to accommodate that T-posing. The biceps have a simple mushroom swivel. I don't think it's a mushroom joint. I think it's something else. Maybe the mushroom joint's in here. Yes, it is. The elbows bend more than 90 degrees, which is nice. That's a nice acute angle. And the wrists are similarly swiveling as the biceps. At the waist, he has another swivel. He doesn't have any ab crunch or an arcing back, but I think that would have been the cherry on the cake. The hips are universal joints. They go forward, backward, outward. He can do the splits. He has a thigh swivel that goes all the way around, and he has a swivel at the knee. So you can do weird things like that. This is why he's disappointed in you, because you want to do shit like that. His knees go all the way. That is a very acute angle. And it's not even necessitated by the transformation. His legs are stock straight the whole time. So this is some serious, dedicated knee jointing. And his ankles, he has a nice ankle pivot. It's not the deepest that I've seen, but it does do the job. It doesn't go forward or backward or anything, but his toe can point, and his heel can point. Now, the question, can he dab? The answer is yes.
Initially, I was planning on skipping this figure. You all know this. But I am so happy that I didn't. While I have some minor gripes with the stylistic decisions made for Optimus Prime's alternate mode, this figure is an insane amount of fun to transform, roll around, and pose. He's just so dynamic and fun. If you're into Siege, this figure is a definite must-have. Hell, there's even a good argument to be had for him being a poor man's masterpiece. I think there's a little something any of us can enjoy in this figure. This has been Katastrophe. Transform and roll out.